in this episode, I'm giving this simple white cabinet a quick and easy DIY flip, one that completely changes its look with just a few thoughtful details. So I got this cabinet on Amazon for about 40 euros, if I remember. It was very affordable, and once I assembled it, I immediately thought, the doors look a bit too plain and a bit too countryside for my taste, so I decided to give them a little personality and turn them into something that feels more me. I had this beautiful striped fabric at home that I have been waiting to use for a while, and it felt perfect for this project. And to add a bit of detail and structure, I also found these wooden bobbin trims. They have such a charming handcrafted feel to them. First things first, I measured and cut the fabric to size. I cut 2 pieces for the doors and made sure they fit perfectly inside the panels. Here are the finished fabric pieces. They all needed now just a quick iron to smoothen them out. Then I grabbed some Mod Podge and brushed it over the panels, placing the fabric on top. Honestly, I was a little unsure whether the Mod Podge would actually hold, but it worked beautifully. The fabric adhered really well and was pleasantly surprised at how clean the finish looked. You do need to work fairly quickly though. Mod Podge dries very fast. If I were to do this again, I'd probably fill the panel lines with a bit of wood filler beforehand. You can see the lines faintly at the end, which doesn't bother me, but if you prefer a super smooth look, it's worth doing before. A little tip, lightly go over the fabric with an iron to help it dry faster. Just be careful to not press too hard. If any Mod Podge seeps through, it can leave darker spots on the fabric. Now for the bobbin trim, I wanted to use full rounded shapes, so I trimmed off the bottom part. And just reminder, even small DIY projects like this can get risky when cutting wood, so always wear protective gear, please. Once the trim was prepped, I moved on to painting. If you do have cabinetry paint, definitely use that one. I didn't have any on hand, well, not in white, so I used regular acrylic paint. It worked just fine, but I had to apply about 3 layers for full coverage. And since acrylic paint dries matte and my cabinet doors had a bit of a sheen, I finished the trims with just some glossy acrylic varnish to match the fronts better. Now that everything was ready, fabric attached, trims painted, it was time to glue them on. I used E6000 or, well, in my case, B7000, pretty much the same thing, and I also added a few drops of super glue in between for an instant hold. At first I only planned to update the doors, but I ended up continuing along the sides of the cabinet too, and honestly, I'm so glad I did it. It completely transformed the piece. Just a quick reminder how it looked before, and now the after. It's amazing how such simple DIY can make such a huge difference. I'm pretty sure you have an old cabinet somewhere that's waiting for a little love. With just some fabric, trim, and glue, you can turn it into something that feels brand new and totally unique. I hope you enjoyed this quick DIY flip, and I will see you in the next one.